All right, what's poppin', party people? Y'all know what it is. Y'all have popped in for a new episode of Pop Talk. This is your man, Professor Nils. I'm signing on with Boston Jared,
What up?
Casual Rand,
Peace.
and Coach Dave.
Earth.
And we are the Pundits of Pugilism. Make sure that you do like and subscribe. Help us get those numbers up. So make sure that we get this popping content in front of you weekly. But we want to reflect on this past weekend's performance, some say lack thereof, from Shakur Stevenson.
The Sandman.
Who well, I mean, I don't know if we'll say that, but he was he was headlining the show in his hometown of New Jersey. He was fighting Artem Haratunian, who is kind of I'm always skeptical of people who make their name off of a loss or whatnot. So he gained some notoriety because he fought Frank Martin to a very
he beat Frank Martin, man. I thought he won.
Decision loss. Yeah, I mean I think him going down in the 12th round kind of gave some leeway, but it can be argued that he did lose that fight. But speaking of this, I thought that he was thoroughly outclassed in this fight against Shakur Stevenson. But at the same time,
go ahead,
he was not something that was able to endure himself to the viewing public. Not only that, he didn't endure himself to his hometown crowd, because towards the end of the round you could see people walking out, almost kind of reminiscent of when Floyd Mayweather was taking on Carlos Baldomir. But this was Floyd at this time had kind of established himself as the #1 pound for pound fighter. Had took a really safety first approach to this fight. But with Shakur Stevenson, who is still trying to build upon his brand, this to a lot of people was not a good look. However, we want to be balanced in our review of this. It was noted that this viewing outperformed that of Teofimo Lopez, who also didn't have a very good showing. But with this said, let's talk about the performance in general. I call it a kind of a master class in boxing. But do you think that with this style and this approach that you can see Shakur Stevenson being the next boxing superstar, even being a pound for pound boxer? Let's start out with Coach Dave. We'll lead off with him.
Yeah, man. Okay, man. I'm gonna be direct, quick with it, man. And basically, man, this is Shakur Stevenson in this generation is simply just one of the fighters that you just gonna have to accept who he is and what he has defined himself to be. And the truth, you say people can be one thing or the other. I like to say that I'm never a one-dimensional man. You know what I mean? Or never make a one-dimensional fighter. I want a fighter that can rumble on the inside and bust your organ. I want him to be able to stay on the outside. I want him to be able to use his ankle. So in a nutshell, we just gonna have to make friends that Shakur Stevenson is simply one of the most talented, excellent, boxing savvy, boring fighter in existence. He is just that's who he is. So, it's gonna be hard for anybody to beat this guy. You can't deny the cat's skills, man. He's a defensive mastermind, but he just be throwing out that fan NyQuil and just lulling folks to sleep. But I accept the fact of what he is. He is an excellent boxer and just simply a boring fighter, man. That's it. But you can't take away from the guy's skills. From what I saw against this guy and him not being able to stop this guy, I don't think that Shakur would be able to beat Tank. And I think what makes Shakur, the power is just not there. how he fights, man, he throw these one shots. He don't have that one hitter quitter stuff. And I can tell you right now that Abdullah Mason with 14 fights would have stopped this dude. The combinations that you saw Abdullah Mason throw, the punch selection, he would have stopped this dude. Shakur, talented boxer, but just boring. And we just gonna have to. We see what we see. Oh, and let me say one other thing, because he did say something that I totally disagree with. He made a statement about saying, hey, okay, I can't get these fights, and if I got this fight against Tank, if I got this fight against whoever these other fighters, then yeah, it'll be a more exciting fight. That's the biggest lie. You are who you are. You are who you are. And if Mike Tyson fought a scrub, guess what? Mike Tyson knocked that scrub out. Mike Tyson still fighting on the inside. You fight the way that you fight. And so him, you might get amped up and hyped and ready and pumped up for a fight against Tank, but you still gonna fight how you fight. Period. So I don't know where he get that from. And to say that you need a step up opponent or whatever to make you fight better, no, man. You fight how you fight. So I hope that makes sense, man. So
no, it does. So I want to I'm gonna throw it to
need a new coach.
I want one reflection, because I was thinking about, because to me at first I was thinking about him being the new Rigondeaux, but the problem with let me finish the point. The problem with Rigondeaux was that he didn't speak any English, right? In that sense, and then he fought in a lower weight class than Shakur Stevenson. But I was thinking about, what is the difference between Shakur Stevenson and Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker?
I mean, Pernell. Whoa, wait a minute.
Come on.
Wait a
I mean,
second.
just like what I'm saying, like let's. I'm just asking the question. But
Pernell at his optimum weight, Pernell Whitaker at 135 pounds is putting combinations together. He's standing in the pocket. He's not jumping back 9 feet in the ring every time you feint or flinch at him. He's hanging in there. No,
let's be clear. This fight was not like the previous fight against De La Santos.
It was not.
He stood right in front of this guy,
but he don't know how to fight that way. It was so blatantly obvious that is not natural for him. He just don't know how to fight that way. He wants to be on his back foot, or he wants to be in the center of the ring, getting in and out, throwing 1 shot, 2 shot here and there. He just doesn't have that skill set. You said what, Dave?
I said, bro, I agree. Hey, I agree. I'm about to say,
Pernell Whitaker, you never saw when Sweet Pea was at the end of his career. Remember Sweet Pea was 5'4", 5'5", went all the way up to welterweight, was fighting guys like Oscar De La Hoya and shit like that. When he was up there, that's when you see him be a lot more defensive. Same with Floyd. When these guys were maxed out physically and they were fighting guys who were naturally bigger than them, that's when you see them become more defensive. Pernell Whitaker, you go back in there, you watch
different boxers. I thought like Floyd and Pernell, I see them as very different boxers.
They were, but I tell you what, at their optimal weights at 135 pounds, because to me, Pernell Whitaker and Floyd, their optimum weights were 135 pounds. These motherfuckers, they were beating the shit out niggas. Go back and watch Pernell Whitaker, Roger Mayweather. He beat the shit out Roger Mayweather, who was a world champ. Go back and watch any of Floyd's fights at 130. Not all of them. There were some fights where he was against high-level guys and he didn't get him up out of there. The Jose Luis Castillo fight comes to mind. The DeMarcus Chop Shop Corley fight comes to mind. But look at what he did against a guy like Diego Corrales, who was tearing his way through 135.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I said nothing about Floyd. Like I said nothing about you. You interjected Floyd into that.
Yes,
like
because
I wasn't even making that comparison to that.
The point I was trying to make was at there when they were maxed out physically. That was when you saw them become defensive fighters. This kid is supposed to be at his peak weight right now. 135 pounds, maybe 140. And the kid, everyone likes to talk shit about Devin Haney not being able, not having any power. This kid he is not committed to throwing punches and combinations. He doesn't know how to fight off his front foot. He can't cut the ring off, apparently. He doesn't use angles. Luckily for him, he is so good at what he does do, getting in and out, making guys miss, accuracy, that he's been able to accomplish but he's been able to accomplish across multiple divisions. Okay, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm taking away. The guy is through 20 fights. He's pretty well accomplished, but a lot of detractors, and I've had these conversations before, a lot of people will point to his opposition as the reason you've seen his success. And then people will say that the detractors will say, you put him in there against guys like De Los Santos. He goes up to 140 pounds, man. We're really going to see what this kid's made of. And after last weekend, I'm just not sure. The talent is there, but he needs a new trainer. And I look, I don't know anything about his uncle or his grandfather, Wally Moses. This subject of trainers has come up on this show before. It's come up with Haney. Okay. It's come up with Teofimo. These guys have taken these kids as far as they can take them. It's time for him to move aside and let somebody else more experienced step in. He wasn't even listening to him. You guys were telling me he wasn't even listening to him.
So that's why I want to direct to the casual in that, because to me, you say that because I'm the one, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I said that kind of tongue in cheek. I said he's going to fire his grandpa and then hire Bomac. But at the same time, his corner, his head trainer, was imploring him to do more, to throw combinations, to kind of sit down on his punches. So why would somebody else, it's not like he has a trainer that is kind of holding him back or is telling him to be safety first or whatnot. So why would another trainer exactly, isn't it that fighter's mentality, and you're gonna have
it's something got to give, Cam.
Yeah,
but he's not doing what the guy's saying. Sorry, go ahead, Randy. Sorry, go ahead.
It's respect also. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna go into a Bomac camp and be like, I ain't gonna listen to you. You know what I'm saying? You fucking Crawford getting in there and sparring, beat your brains in just for disrespecting his coach. So you know what I'm saying? It's a respect thing, right? If you ain't got no respect for your coach and he ain't got nothing to bring back, then you ain't gonna respect. But like Bomac, he got some killers on his team that I don't think Shakur would want to fuck with. So if he ever go to a Bomac camp, he'll know he has to fall in line.
It is, but let me
think Bomac is the answer.
Say with the casual, then we'll come to Boston. But I want to redirect, because that kind of I think that argument kind of falls to the wayside when you talk about, when we speak about people like Teofimo and Devin Haney, how they need new trainers. It has nothing to do with respect. Like, these are their fathers. They have the utmost respect for them. And this is about them kind of adding a new, kind of emphasis to their boxing technique and all that. They have respect for them in that. But what we're looking for essentially is for them to kind of bring a new element or kind of change a boxer's mentality, and necessarily. And at the same time, we're not talking about a corner. This was somebody who was arguing with his corner, who was saying, you acting like I'm losing the fight, because he was essentially imploring the guy to, we need to be a little bit more offensive and to be more on the front foot and to throw these combinations. And I think sometimes when a fighter is wired a certain way, it's hard to kind of undo that wiring. So
that's exactly why he needs Ronnie Shields. That's exactly why he needs Ronnie Shields.
That's to Boston's point, though, Cam. If you come over to hit hard boxing, even though we're not one-dimensional fighters, you gonna love to bring that thump on the inside. You're gonna bust, internal organs. You're gonna fight on the inside. And a prime example of that, brother, is, so might not be about no respect stuff. It's just he been fighting the way that he been fighting, man, up under who he's with for the longest time, Cam.
His whole life.
His whole life. So he don't know how to fight solidly on the inside to get a person out of there, Abdullah Mason would have stopped this dude because he know he gonna throw bunches of punches on the inside. There's combinations on the inside. Man, he hit this guy with a 4-3, 4-3, then slipped over and hit this cat in the body. Shakur Stevenson can't do that because he ain't been trained that, bro. And a prime example Boston is talking about. The prime example of what Boston is talking about is when daggone Anthony Joshua first went over to Derrick James. Man, his first couple of fights, he came out there, bro. He almost looked like a big buff, steroid up Earl Spence. The way he was fighting their fight. You send somebody over to Crunch Gym, guess what? You going over that joker, you're gonna learn how to throw that right hand, baby, and touch that chin and push them lips behind a joker's neck. You're gonna learn to throw that right hand. So he got to get into a camp where he can learn how to fight on the inside and be specific with his punch selections, and he'll stop folks. Now, I say the same thing even about Clarissa Shields. She one of the most aggressive and mean boxers as a female, but her punch selection, bro, I seen her throw 4-5 punches up to the head, and the person done raised up, and she didn't go down here and do that. He been in that camp.
It's that amateur indoctrination. It's that amateur indoctrination. It's too many amateur fights. We saw the same shit from Keyshawn Davis when he came out. That's the reason why I think Ronnie Shields is the answer, because Ronnie Shields has taken those indoctrinated, those Cuban amateurs with hundreds of fights, guys like Lara, guys like Rigo, and now David Morrell. He's taken those guys and he's turned them into professional fighters. He takes that skill set and he adapts it to the pro game. There's nobody more indoctrinated than Cuban amateur fighters, except for maybe the Ukrainians. Ronnie Shields is in Texas. He's got the name. He's one of the last trainers left in boxing with pure pedigree. Georgie Benton, and from Georgie Benton down to his name escapes me, but Eddie Futch, from Futch to Benton, and from Benton to Ronnie Shields. He's got that serious pedigree behind him. He's worked with these indoctrinated amateurs before. He's in Texas. Shakur Stevenson needs to link up with Ronnie Shields, and you will see a totally different fighter. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
All right, I want to redirect to the casual, and just to kind of bring a little bit of balance to this argument. And so Eddie Hearn, who is the CEO and head promoter of Matchroom, said that he feels that Shakur Stevenson could be unbeatable or whatnot. So this is the same person that he is officially kind of listed as an advisor or something, a partner with Devin Haney. He doesn't necessarily have a relationship with Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia. But do you think that even if his style is something that is not very pleasing to the boxing palate, of our boxing fans, wouldn't he be able to stand on his record, sort of like Floyd Mayweather, and it's like, okay, you might not like my style, you're not gonna be able to do this, but the fact that you cannot put anybody in that ring that can beat me.
So the closest thing, what I'm saying, like y'all compared them, or you compared them to Rigondeaux. So I think if Rigondeaux and Haney's success with belts had a baby, it'll be Shakur Stevenson.
Wait.
Rigo style and Haney's getting all the belts had a baby, it'll be Shakur Stevenson.
You disrespecting Rigo. Y'all disrespecting.
I mean, no, I'm not disrespecting.
Rigo knocked motherfuckers out.
But Rigo couldn't sell out motherfucking kindergarten.
Of course not, man. He's not even.
That's all I'm talking about. That's all I'm talking about. I'm talking about the bottom line on this part, right? The bottom line, he was not marketable for shit, even though he was a great fighter. So the answer Cameron's question, he could be a great fighter, but the highest accolades I can compare him to is not Mayweather, but to Haney. Haney had all 4 belts. When Haney had all 4 belts.
His ceiling is Devin Haney.
Now he's a better fighter than Haney.
Hold on. I'm saying he can have all 4 belts, but nobody's still going to give him no fucking respect. I mean, even with the
8,000
4
tickets.
belts. But because he's going to win, but he's going to point you to death. It ain't going to be, oh, he whooped his ass. It's going to be like, oh, he fought you so-and-so. If he going to have some names eventually, and he going to be like, oh, he beat so-and-so. Oh, he outpointed boy so-and-so. So I'll say his career as of now is on the same trajectory as Devin Haney, meaning he needs belts. There's fighters that we love that transcends belts. The Tank Davis, you know what I'm saying? Canelo, you know what I'm saying?
Garcia, go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say
Yeah, Ryan
Garcia's never
Garcia.
been a champion. He's never been a champion.
But all these guys transcends belts. They don't need to be like, oh, at 135, I'm gonna get all these belts. They can go up and down the chart and sell out any arena at any weight class that they willing to fight in. Shakur is not going to do that. I think he's going to be another David Haney.
All right.
Well, to be fair here, just for our audience here, they sold 8,100 tickets in Newark, there, his hometown, and the peak viewership.
You keep saying that, like, what? I mean, is that good? Are we supposed to be happy with that?
I mean, how many tickets did Lamont Roach sell in DC here a couple weeks ago?
Lamont Roach, come on, man! You talking about a former Olympian who has been propped up as the face of Top Rank, and you gonna bring
you reaching now. I don't know about the face of Top Rank, but Dave, you tell me, Dave,
who's the face of Top Rank? Well, I mean,
8,100 tickets,
Fury, but like
peak viewership 1.2 million. You a promoter? Would you go for them numbers?
Fight. Yes, because it's secure, and you know, I would have wanted more. To be honest with you, I'm just saying,
what? More views or more ticket sales?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to lose like at least 5 figures in your hometown. Like, I mean, 8,000 just, to me, it sounds a little paltry. I don't know. Like,
I mean, what are guys like Lomachenko doing here at the MGM Grand in New York City? Are they doing 8,000 tickets? If
you take Lomachenko back to Ukraine, Lomachenko's gonna. But we're talking about somebody who was in his hometown. That can't even bring in 10,000 folks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, 8,000 tickets again. I think that there are a lot of fighters out there who would love. I mean, what did what's it called? Prograis do in New Orleans against that dude who he went life and death with? Did he do 8,000? I mean, it's not easy.
I bet that he did at least that much. But coach, with this said, like, so you know, we even a little critical. Some may say hypercritical, but we are in the midst of a bidding war for Shakur Stevenson, right? So there was a big money offer from Top Rank to re-sign Shakur Stevenson. Matchroom is also trying to put their, you know, hat in the ring in a sense. So what are they seeing? Like, what are they seeing that we're not seeing in this sense? So put your promoter hat on at this time.
I'll tell you, like my promoter hat, my recruiter hat, and when I was watching Shakur coming up, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this is just my opinion, my 2 cents, but you can say what you want to say, because I was actually in Las Vegas with the Golden Gloves in 2015 when Shakur was still fighting amateurs. You know what I'm saying? I was out there with a fighter. So I've been watching this kid for a long time. And let me tell you something, man. What they saw was this young kid, good-looking young man, straight dimples, man, pecan tan, brown skin brother. And they was hoping that this joker could come up, and he was slick in the amateurs, and they was just hoping he could come up, bro, and whoop like Sugar Ray Leonard. Bruh, if you had Shakur fighting like Sugar Ray Leonard, and that joker,
I mean, come on, yeah.
But that's what. But I'm saying though, Shakur was banging. He was banging in the amateurs, bro. He was banging, man. I watched this kid, and so that's what I'm saying is what they saw. They saw this kid, bro. And he come up and he's dropping jokers. He coming to that grown man's strength, and what he got, he just ain't that guy, bro. He ain't that guy. He is the most talented, skilled, boring fighter. And I agree with Eddie to a degree. It's gonna be hard to beat this kid, period. And we're gonna have to accept it's who he is, the most talented, skilled, boring fighter with no punching power. And I wouldn't even actually say it's not the punching power, man. I got to go back to what Boston said. You know, his fight style, bro. He got his fight style, bro. He got to get. I would go get to another camp. So that's what I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? And for the record, man, you know, when Amir Khan and Peterson fought at the Armory, bro, it was over 12,000 people up in that joke. Mm-hmm. So I'm just giving you a hint on that 8,000.
Yeah, that kind of that gives a little bit more context in there. Right. So we'll end with Boston. So what should be his next step? So let's also talk about where he should, because I'm assuming he's a free agent at this time, and then what matchup is going to be that's going to kind of highlight and show his skills, and then be able to be something that can kind of boost him to this, not even superstardom, just a stardom at this point.
What should he do to boost himself, or what matchup? Which one are you asking? One question or both?
I'm asking both. So I'm like, so we try to find a fine median, you know what I'm saying, like between.
Well, he needs a change of scenery in his corner. You know, his grand Wally Moses, from what I understand, not just has been his trainer, but has helped raise him. And eventually you get to a point.
That's his grandpa, though, right? Yeah. Or are you saying as far as like he was raised by his grandpa? I mean, from my understanding, it was his grandpa. I understand. Yeah.
Okay, but what I understood, the point I'm trying to make is this: after a while, that to have that same voice, it maybe it doesn't resonate, or you start tuning it out after a certain time, and it seems like he's tuned out at this point. I think he needs a new trainer. I think he needs to get with Ronnie Shields. That's first and foremost. Get with Ronnie Shields. That's one. Number two, try to make this fight with the guy William Zepeda, because Zepeda brings a style that matches up with exactly what Shakur wants to do. He wants to fight off his back foot. He wants you to come to him, and he wants to catch and shoot. He wants to counter and do all that stuff. That is going to be a good fight to make, but there has to be some incentive for a guy like William Zepeda to do that. And right now, with these performances that he's putting on, there really isn't any kind of incentive for some of these guys to hop in the ring with him. But I think that William Zepeda fight, coupled with Ronnie Shields, I think Ronnie Shields can, because he's so talented. The kid has got all the tools there. Ronnie Shields, it ain't going to take Ronnie Shields long to turn this kid into a monster.
Okay,
in my opinion.
One last thing. So, what should he do as far as a promotional company going forward?
It ain't gonna matter who he with. He could be with Don King in the 70s.
Matter. So one is like
because his fighting style.
You're featured on ESPN. Other one you're featured on the Zone or whatever.
It doesn't matter because his stock is so low because of his fighting style. It's really not gonna matter. 1.2 million people on ESPN, they don't get better than that. But the word is out now. Don't watch this kid because you're gonna fall asleep. That's what the perception is. It don't matter how many hardcore fans go on YouTube and talk about sweet science this and sweet science that. The sport is driven by casual fans. And right now, the word on the street for the casual boxing fan is that this kid's a born fighter. So it don't matter what promotional outfit he's with, because his stock is low. Nobody interested in watching the fight right now. So he needs to change that. I thought he was going to do that with this guy Artem. And to be fair, this guy Artem is a bronze medalist, man. I knew this guy wasn't going to just roll over and let Shakur do what the fuck he wanted to do. Hey, I knew this shit was not going to be an easy fight.
I don't care about that. Shakur had this boy hurt.
He did.
He heard him going to the body. So that don't make no difference to me.
Yeah,
Right now.
like, I don't. Yeah, I
That
agree
doesn't
with
make a
Coach.
difference. The fact the guy was a decent
I
fighter.
agree with Coach, man.
Bro,
I think he
hey,
could have took out dude if he would have put his foot on the gas.
listen at his corner. Shakur could have stopped this guy. I don't care how good he was in this fight. He had an opportunity to stop this kid, and he took the foot. He took the foot
But
off.
Dave, he's stopped other guys. I mean, he stopped Yoshino and he stopped Herring, but he wasn't able to stop this guy because he's better than those guys. That's the point I'm making.
Bro, he better than this guy. Bro, Shakur should have stopped this dude, bro.
And I understand it, of course, because he's got the talent. The point I'm trying to make is that Shakur wasn't able to do what he did against Yoshino and Herring because this guy's good enough to not let him do this. Guy's got hundreds of amateur fights, got bronze medal. That the guy's not going to roll over. Of course, Shakur should have beat him. The point is, look, go get with Ronnie Shields and get a fight with Zepeda. Even if you got to overpay Zepeda, get Zepeda in the ring, get Ronnie Shields, get William Zepeda. That's what you got to do.
Hey, so
Step one and step two.
I'm for the promotion side, I'm gonna compare it to this. Haney was just ordered to fight Sandor Martin, and it went to the purse bid. The purse bid was like $1.2 million.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? What do you think now Shakur doesn't have a backing of a promotion company? What do you think his next fight, if it ain't a Tank Davis, and if it ain't a Lomachenko, what do you think they're gonna pay this guy?
Well, I don't know. He got this dollar store fucking mob boss, Jay Prince, right? This guy's supposed to be some sort of mob fucking promotional.
He better go find BLK Prime.
No, so for the record, he was offered a 5-fight extension from Top Rank that would have guaranteed him $3 million a fight.
And I gotta tell you right now, Eddie Hearn, I know for a fact Eddie Hearn said we ain't paying him that.
Well,
Eddie Hearn ain't paying
then he should re-sign with Top Rank. But
the relationship is destroyed now. He's accusing Bob Arum of paying people to walk out of the arena. He's criticizing him on interviews. He's been shitting on Bob, all over stuff. This kid don't know how to keep his mouth shut. This kid can't get off of social media. Doc,
Bob will get over it, man. How many times has fighters talk shit about Bob Arum? Bob will get over it.
I mean, okay.
And not, but it's no upside with having him on his roster. He's not
right.
Money, so why the hell he gonna keep?
Well, I mean,
because Loma won't fight him.
That was a good offer.
Why would they offer him that extension then? It wasn't like they had a gun to their head.
I tell you why. Because Mickey Mouse made a phone call and said, "Hey, get this young black kid what he want." The same way they were able to make that Sean Porter fight happen after Terrence Crawford filed that lawsuit. That's Mickey Mouse that Bob Arum worked for. That's my opinion. Because $3 million a fight for Shakur Stevenson. $3 million a fight for Shakur Stevenson is insane.
It is. It might be good management.
Ridiculous.
It might be your boy Jay Prince. Maybe we're not giving him enough credit for his management ability.
That's somebody at ESPN put a gun to somebody's head over there and made that. That's absurd. $3 million a fight for that? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's Mickey Mouse putting somebody in a chokehold for that. That's ridiculous.
All right. Well, we'll end on that note. Like and subscribe. Pundits of Pugilism Pop Talk. We'll see you in 1 second for our last segment. All right.